So Bowling Air Force Base, you're serving under Chaplain Potter as her deputy. And she decides as annual to go away for her birthday. Her birthday's September 12th, so she leaves September 10th to go to Hilton Head for a week. She leaves on September 10th. She and Rocky, they're on their way. They're there. September 11th happens, sir. And you're in the seat. You've got the stick. How do you fly the aircraft of spirituality during this time of crisis?
Well, that was obviously nobody expected that moment. And Chaplain Potter on vacation. We had just been a team for a few months. I got there in May of '01, and so she takes off in September. She gives me the summer to learn how to be the deputy a little bit. And this was my first go to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force staff meeting on September 11th. That just be the chaplain and sit there and take notes. And so that was my first opportunity as the deputy to sit in the Chief of Staff of the Air Force meeting, and the Secretary of the Air Force was there. So we were watching his briefing slides, and they cut the slides, switched to CNN, and we watched the second plane fly into the World Trade Center. And what's that? Nobody knew what that was. And but the Chief of Staff said, dismissed, we have things to do. And so I had another meeting following that Chief of Staff meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. So the meeting adjourned about 9:15, and I usually proceed directly to the meeting, but I decided I'd stop and get a latte in the cafeteria, which was in the basement. And while I was getting the latte, a guard came in and said, "We've been bombed." And what happened was the plane flew into the Pentagon during that moment. Had I not gotten that latte, I would have proceeded to that wedge that the plane hit.
Oh my.
So I was delayed by that moment.
My.
And so ever since then, Ann and I go get a latte on September 11th and thank the Lord for the delay in our meeting. And I don't know if I'd have been heard, but I'd have been in the area. So, but then that day obviously changed the world. And I went to the casualty collection points where the hotels right across the street, Army Navy Boulevard there, and there's a bunch of hotels. So they were taking the wounded there. So I went there and went, to the wounded ones and tried to bring a word of love and care and pray for their recovery. And after about 2 hours of that, I decided to go to ground zero and went to where the plane hit the building. And I spent the next 24 hours at the site. And it happened that all three chiefs of chaplains, Army, Navy, Air Force, were gone. So the three deputies were there looking at each other saying, who's in charge here? And we said, we are. So, okay. So we set up a chaplain's tent right there, and we worked together, put together a schedule where chaplains would start coming in and taking care of the folks. But obviously it changed the way we did business and affected Chaplain Potter's leadership, pastoral leadership during a war, and I was her deputy, and it was a privilege to serve with her through those years.